let's move on to the next section in the series that we're doing, and that is the characteristics of a da'i. Now, we need to look at some of the important characteristics that are required in a da'i, and the duties that we need to have one to another, and how we need to extend these to people. So the first point that this book brings up, it says, first of all, a da'i should be firm in his belief that Islam is a true religion, or is the true religion. If you do not believe it, no one else will. Have you been into a mobile shop? You know when you go to a mobile shop, it's time for a new mobile phone, or it's time for a new cell phone, and you go there and you look at all the different makes. There's like 20 different makes, maybe 5 different makes. As the years go by, there's less and less makes I see. So there's 5 different makes. You don't know which is which. You've seen the adverts on television, you've seen the advert in the newspaper, and you go there and there's a sales rep standing there, someone who's supposed to know what's going on. And you say to him, which is the best phone, and I only want to pay 30,000 rupees, $400, 4,000 Rand, $400. That's what you're prepared to pay for a mobile phone. You walk and you say, my budget is $400. Give me the best phone. And the guy goes, well, they're all the same. I mean, they're all the same. I mean, this one is this, does that, and that one. So you go to the man and you say, you're supposed to be a salesman. And he goes to you and he goes, all the same. There's no difference. This one's got a screen, that one's got a screen, that one's got a screen. It's so funny. This is the funniest thing. Now, I'm going to go off the topic now. Have you seen what's happened with mobile phones? They've got more gimmicks, and people are buying them, but the battery life is shorter. I have an old phone that I bought here in 2010 in India that I'm still using. That thing lasts the whole week. And people say, why are you still using a phone back then? Because your one lasts a half a day. The battery lasts half a day. I don't want a phone that's going to last half a day. I want one the battery life is going to last the whole week. I'm lazy. I don't want to charge it every time. I mean, come on. Who can last half a day with a mobile phone? But that's besides the point. Maybe some of us are like that in our Islam, you know. We only got a half a day of Islam, and then the rest of the time we're not really good Muslims. We need to charge ourselves properly. Maybe the older system works better. So if we are a salesman and we are selling mobile phones and we do not believe in the product we have, the person will just walk out the shop. I've done this so many times. I'm one of those people. If I go to a place, I want the salesman to tell me what I should be buying. I don't want to choose what I'm going to be buying. I'd have gone online. If I knew what I wanted, I would have ordered it online. If I don't know what I want, I go into the shop and the salesman is there to tell me. So when I went to buy a new washing machine, I went to go to look at the washing machines, and they've got this one's got central fuse drive, and that one's got direct drive, and that one's got pinwheel drive, and this one's got, they all got different drives. How much I know which is which? I don't know. I just want to push a button and put stuff in. That's all I want to know. I don't want to know how this one's got that. It's so confusing for me. I don't know what it all means. Maybe women are able to identify pinwheel drives, and I doubt it, but all these different drives that they have for a simple thing called a washing machine. And there's all different makes, and this one's got a diamond filter, and this one's got aerations, and I don't know what, all sorts of strange things. I want a salesman to tell me what I want to buy. And I remember when I went to get a washing machine, I looked at this one, and it was double than the one the salesman wanted me to get. He actually took me to a cheaper one, half the price. And he said, this one's better than, I said, why? He said, hey, and he told me all the inside stuff, all the inside, behind the scenes information. So sometimes salesmen are not only there to sell you the most expensive, they're to sell you the one that works better. So I've got a nice washing machine that does all sorts of things I have no idea about, but it does the washing. That's all I know. Now, if you do not believe in Islam, you're like that salesman at the cell phone shop, that mobile shop. He goes, they're all the same. I don't know, they're all the same. Huh? Don't people say all religions are the same? Muslims, I've heard, say that. You go to Muslims, I don't want to get into an argument like, all religions are the same. No, they're not. Not all washing machines are the same. Not all mobile phones are the same. Mine lasts for a week, yours lasts for half a day. So my phone is better than yours, if we're looking at it on the battery life. So we want somebody who believes in what they're saying. If you don't believe in what you're saying, why should anyone else believe in what you're saying? There has to be that confidence, that sureness. We need to have established Islam in our lives. If it's not established, then you won't believe it. And so when somebody says that you'll be apologetic about being a Muslim, do you know there's something in Christianity called apologetics? Do you know that? It's a form of religious study, theological study. It's a wing of Christianity called apologetics. Can you believe it? That a religion would have people who study to be apologists. So we are Christian apologists. We apologize. Are we so sorry that this verse is here? Are we so sorry that you don't understand what this means? There's no way we can explain it through the book, but we have our own theory. There's no such thing as an apologist to Islam. We're not apologizing for Islam. Take it or leave it. It's as you see it. If you don't want to buy this washing machine, then you lose out and go buy the more expensive one because you believe the hype. So when we come to Islam, we say to the person, this is Islam. We're not apologizing for it. There's no apologists in Islam. If there's a verse that you got problems with, there's a man who will explain it to you, but we're not apologizing for what the verse says. Do you understand? So in Islam, there are scholars that we have who specialize in explaining difficult verses that we have in the Quran. But he's not an apologist. He doesn't try and rewrite it to suit the palate of the people. He doesn't repackage it so that people can go, okay, I can accept that. It's not so bad as what I thought it meant. You understand? So it's very, very important that as a da'i that we believe and that we've established Islam in our life before we try to convince anybody else about it. And we should have no doubt that the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ was a messenger of Allah. We must have no doubt that there is only one God, and that God is Allah. And that we must have no doubt that Islam is the only acceptable religion to Allah. It says in the Quran in chapter 3 verse 19, it says, verily the deen with Allah is Islam. The acceptable religion, the acceptable way of life, the acceptable belief system is Islam. There's no debate. There's no opening for something else. One of the religions acceptable to Allah is Islam. No, the only, the one and only. It's an all or nothing situation. The second most important thing for a da'i is his manners. This is important. Da'i should have good manners. He should behave in a good way. It must be everything to him. You know, in India, the manners are very different to the way the manners are in America, very different to the way they are in South Africa, very different to Germany, very different to Spain. Everywhere you go, it's different. I remember when I came here to India in 2009, I used to shake hands with the people in India with both hands. And the brother's eyes got as big as saucers and said, what are you doing? You're not allowed to shake hands with both hands, only one hand. Because it wasn't good manners to do it here. In Africa, when we greet each other, don't do it when I'm in India because, again, the brothers will get very upset because it's not acceptable here. Manners are different. We greet each other by going like this or like that. It shows that there's nothing in our hands. Expose our hands to the person straight away. Look, nothing. I got no weapons. It's an old tradition, an old custom. So in Africa, people will greet each other like this, or things like, or shake hands with both hands to show there's nothing in your hand. It's not acceptable in India. In Africa, you must give a dead fish handshake. You know what a dead fish handshake is? You know when someone puts their hand in yours and it's like a dead fish? It's like hardly even, yeah, it's very limp. And they shake your hand and it's like, almost like, what was that? That's not a hand, that's a dead fish. So in Africa, you must never squeeze a hand. That shows disrespect. So in Islam, we have to understand the manners and the customs of the people around us. And we have to have established good manners in ourselves. Yes, we need to accept the manners of the people around. Some people say, well, we are Muslims and we have only one. No, we don't. We come from different cultures, we come from different backgrounds, but there are acceptable manners that are universal to all the different Muslims everywhere in the world. But we as Muslims must understand that good manners are very, very important. And to understand the culture that we're going to, what is acceptable and what's not. If I was a school teacher and I walked into a classroom, what would you all do if you're all sitting down? You'd all stand up. In Africa, they do the exact opposite. If a teacher walks in, they all sit down because you must never be higher than the teacher. The teacher must always be higher the whole time. So they all sit down, never stand up. It would be rude to do that. So there are different cultures, there are different beliefs, they have different things. Each culture is different. And it is a requirement that we must learn other people's cultures and we must respect their culture. Even the way we dress. If I go to America, not appropriate to wear clothes like this because I'm not respecting the culture of the people. Well, we'll deal with more about this next week, inshallah, when we deal with a little bit more about culture and how we should behave and our manners in Islam. So from me, Areeb Islam, and those in the audience here, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.